Welcome to Keeper of Secrets Tarot. I am Gypsy Girl, here to bring you another reading for Sagittarius for February 2025, and the deck splits on the List and the Fool. I think every time the deck splits, it splits on the Fool. Sagittarius, I didn't even get a chance to say thank you for likes and subscribes and shares, and most of all for showing up. We have the balance, which we know very well as the, just had it in my head, Temperance, and the 10 of Candles with the Strength and Sinterklaas. Now 4 of Gifts, and now holding back. Okay, so we're being challenged here. Learning lessons, going further with a relationship, bringing things back into balance, working with learning from the past, learning from what didn't work is where we're encouraged to go, to have that courage to go further and put the burden down and heal, because it's all coming from being held back. It's all coming from having to deal with lots of things at the same time, where you're feeling bogged down, or you're feeling blocked, or you're feeling that the happiness that you really want is confused, or you're confused by why you can't get. You're being held back. See, what you think you want and everything that you put effort into to having it is just giving you more grief. The illusion, timing, like the feeling, you feel like the timing is off every time you want to do something. You're thinking, well, I can't because, and now you're just really fed up with that scenario, and you just want things to come back into the balance. But it's a matter of changing your perspective, Sagittarius. Really looking into what it is that you need and what you want, and having the patience to allow Spirit to give it to you. Because as much as we think we're making things happen, we're following the pathway that's set before us. Spirit is giving us a second chance to walk away from what no longer serves us, for what attitude may be bringing us or keeping us actually from having the happiness that we want, and really changing the direction of where our mindset is. Because we are able to confuse ourselves and blame it on others or the universe in some cases. And at the same time, we are being stopped. We're being coerced even by Spirit to go in a particular direction, because we know, Spirit knows that we need to heal. And Spirit can only give us so much burden. After some time, we don't even feel the burden, because we're either buried by it or we lose hope, we lose faith. But Sagittarius, you have that magic in you where you don't lose that faith, you don't lose that hope, and you're ready to start again. You're ready to say, okay, I've gone through so much, and I take responsibility for what I did or didn't do in some cases. But either way, you're looking for that sense of it's going to change, and it's going to get better, and I'm going to get something good out of all of this. That my mindset, that confusion, you're changing it, because it comes in again to the 9 of Wands. Sorry, the 9 of Swords with the canes here, where we're really needing to start facing up to those ideas that keep us trapped. And we have the Knight of Good Cheer, so have, you know, that fear. It's anxiety and worrying about not being able to make an offer or go forward with an offer, or feeling like we're forced to because we don't really want to, but we have that adult stepping in saying that, you know, if Spirit is giving it to me, maybe I should take it. And even if I think I don't want it, maybe this will bring me to what I do want, because I'm putting the effort in to accept things the way they are. That would be the adult talking to the knight here, to gain that courage, because the free will here is that I want to change, I want to move forward, and if I want to do something, then it is really up to me to do it. Again, this is the king talking to the knight, giving that courage, taking that responsibility, stepping up, and in doing so, the wheel turns, the wheel of fortune, and Jupiter smiles upon us. And here we are again as a king, overcoming that loss, feeling that I don't belong somewhere. I'm overcoming that because I remember that someone out there really does love me. And here we have the king again, someone from the past, memories of old, and just experiences help you to open up and remember that you do know how to love. And here we have all the kings showing up with the emperor to show that yes, there is a possibility that I can overcome this and be successful in my endeavors and have that offer and present myself. Free will, because you want to do it. Free will. Free will. That's like my mantra today for Sagittarius is free will. You choose. You choose to do, you choose to not do, you choose to go, you choose where to go, you choose how to get there. You choose. Doesn't mean you actually get it, but you still get to choose. Wow, this seems to be an interesting reading, because the spread that I'm using today is about the person most on your mind. So it could be that either you're thinking about the person who is making those steps to make their way and clear a path to you, or you're hoping that they will, Sagittarius. Or maybe you are the one that is clearing that path to that person who's mostly on your mind. I thank you, Spirit, for protecting and keeping me safe, for protecting the collective and keeping us safe. Sagittarius, I thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares, but most of all for showing up. And here, this spread, again, is the person most on your mind. I'm using the YuletideTarot for the last turn of readings for February. Then I'm going to start doing the March readings with a different deck. So I wanted to pull this deck because, as you see, it just bursts with messages. And the Oracle deck that I'm using is the Yuletide Seasons of the Witch Oracle, because it works so well with this deck, I find. All right, let's see. Let's cut here. Cards are chosen at random. And I see I've set it up this way so that you can see clearly. This is the situation between you and the next person. This is how you're dealing with the situation. This is how they are dealing with it. And we have the Spirit advice on how to deal with any obstacles coming in. This is how you deal with Spirit's advice, and this is how the next person does. I think I just want to shift them over a little bit. Just make sure they're in full view. This is the potential outcome. This is how you are dealing with that, and this is how the person most on your mind is going to deal with it. Now, this again is free will. So it's subject to change. Nothing I say is written in stone. Spirit's advice is there for you if you want to take it. Or you may find that you're already following it because you're following your instincts. You're following the teachings that come to you subconsciously. Starting with the tower moment that you may have already gone through or that you're going through. Or maybe the person most on your mind is going through a tower moment where they're reckoning with change and they're making their way to revise plans that they've made that they would see. The Two of Candles here. It's like seeing, well, my future is liable to change and I can make that effort, like we saw in the beginning, where it's choosing that I want to do this, I don't want to do that. And Spirit is giving the way for this to happen, you see? And we have the Death card to show that because of Spirit clearing the pathway, things are going to change. And because things are going to change, you're going to change your plans. You see what I mean? This is what I was talking about when I was starting the read. You choose. If you choose to go one way, you choose to go another way. Here we have conversation or contemplation about what needs to be done in a different way. And we have the Queen of Candles. So we have that sense of determination to make sure it happens. And we have that either going on a journey or just, again, changing the plans because you're willing to, you want to, you're feeling driven to, and because of certain circumstances that have either opened up or you have had something come in, or surprising changes have occurred where you feel now you have to go a different way and plans are changed easily. And then the worry here about the future is, see, we're driving ourselves into that mode of thinking. We're going from the 8 of Swords into the 9 of Swords. So it's not a terrible thing. It's just that we're going from 8 to 4, from 4 to 9. So we're high and low in our mental capacity here. And that's normal because between now and, I'd say, near the end of March, things are a little shaky. And if you look into the planetary system and what's been going on with Saturn and Mars and Jupiter, you'll understand that it's why our minds are just, either we're getting epiphanies or we're just changing everything around or wanting to change everything. We don't believe certain things, or we're changing our minds about certain people. You find that this is normal behavior because of the planets. Again, it's out of our hands when the Tower happens. It's out of our hands when we suddenly feel the drive to go in another direction. And we're determined to do so. We can't say why. We just know I have to go this way, and we go. That is following Spirit's guide. And here is where you're worrying about the future is not going to help you. And that here, where we see the change, the will, that determination, we want to put an end to what we're worrying about. And we're finding that depending on who we talk to, we get that encouragement. And this is why we look forward to the future. And here we change our perspective, because remember we had the 8 of Swords earlier, to bring ourselves to the 6 now. So we're taken away from anxiety and confusion and that anger of being confused and being angry because we're confused. That ego, or feeling wounded by the ego. We're letting it all go. We're letting it just because we're seeing a different perspective, we're just gonna let it all go. And that's where the Tower comes in, to give us that boost, that hint. And let's see the situation. Here we see that we want to stand in our integrity, that we want to stand in what we believe in and rise above and become a little more than what we were. And that is where we get to let go of the anxiety and really put our effort into what we feel we should do, what we want to do, where we want to go. And that would be to see a little further ahead into our future and being able to choose what we want, in the sense like we want to go to school, or we want to open a business, or we want to put more effort into where we work and what we do for work. Again, changing the perspective, opening up to the different values that come with everything that we do, because it's one tree, but it's a whole bunch of different fruit and leaves, and it's all a mix. It's all a mix. So we don't just pay attention to one way of thinking. We get to see the value of different ways of thinking, or just dealing differently with people, and having that sense of, okay, I can do this. I can go forward. I can let this go. Making that decision, overcoming that sense of loss, and having that feeling of stability, and being able to say, okay, now I know I want to do this. I can do it. I'm going to go for it. And making the choice to lift your head and feel better, knowing that even though you've lost everything, for some, that you call dear, knowing that it's gone, the memory of it, of the good times, is what we have to cherish, so that we can feed into our future and build something and put the effort and heal. You see, it's a progressive state. It's not just, okay, I have to stop whining and crying about, or I have to think differently. No. You can't help it. You're going to choose to go and take the higher ground, because that's who you are, Sagittarius. You can't deny who you are. Now, if you are fighting against it, well, you can only fight for so long, and Spirit's going to tell you, well, you lose, because you're going to do what I make you do anyway, and you're going to want to do it. You're going to try your very best here to make sense of the changes, and you're going to think a lot more about what you want and how to get what you want. And the determination in you is just going to build and build and build until you settle down and actually put things down on paper and start really building what you want, because that's what this is about here. The Page of Gifts, the Knave of Pentacles. It's putting that action forward and really having done the work beforehand. Again, paying attention. See? Paying attention to what it is that you need to do, and putting your priorities in order so that you can stand in your integrity. And here we have the person most on your mind who is feeling really bogged down and overworked and really tired, and yet they're pushing forward still. They want to start up again, because that's what the 10 is. It's an ending that turns into a beginning. So they haven't given up. They're not giving up. They don't want to give up. Spirit says here to go within and see look for your answers within, or seek guidance from your elders or people that you know you can trust, or go into the solitude is more of what Spirit is saying here. Take time for yourself so that you can put your priorities in order and take action. Take time for yourself so that you can rest. put the burden down and really use what you know to carry you through. Sorry, I was so curious about the other person. Here you are overcoming that feeling of disappointment because you've been through so much, Sagittarius. Again, it's a question of choosing. And when you've done all that you can do, Spirit comes along and says, okay, now I'm clearing the path. You've suffered enough, Saggy. You've carried the burden for as long as I'm going to allow you to carry the burden. Now you're going to step forward, and in the light, you are going to become very creative, and you're going to think a lot more. You're even going to talk to people, and the way that you're going to talk to people, you're going to encourage them. You're going to help those people who need help or who have gone through situations such as yourself. You're going to do the work where you thought maybe you were bogged down, you couldn't do the work. You're going to. Your future is going to change. That anxiety that you had is going to shape you, has been shaping you. It's because of your frustration that you see your creative side, because you can't sit still. Even if you're blocked from doing what you want, you figure a way to be, okay, well, if I can't do it like this, I'm going to see how else I can, what else can I come up with? And here is where you're going to overcome all of what that regrets and loss and suffering that you went through, and anxiety. Where is it? Here. This is when you overcome and you feel that burst of new life, that, again, the tower. Okay? You're going to get past it because the wisdom, the light, you see the light. And you know for yourself if your plans are going to come true, because you've been disappointed so many times that you're thinking, well, it's never going to come, and okay, I'm going to accept it and I'm going to move on, and then boom, things change. Because Spirit is giving you that wisdom to overcome. And the next person on your mind is looking to start up. You see, they've gone through a lot too, so you're probably matching where change needs to come in, where you're working with someone or you're thinking about them, you want to talk to them and you want to go out with them, and you're worried that they're too busy and they can't, and then you're thinking that, okay, I need to look at things differently, this relationship, I need to let it go because we can't seem to agree, and you know, it's gonna change. It does, because here she is to say, wait a second, we can do it differently. Maybe that person most on your mind is gonna reach out because they want to start something new. They're burdened, they're tired, they're exhausted, but they want to start up something new. They want to come back to you or talk to you, or they're feeling very emotional here. And forgiveness is probably either they're asking for it or they want to offer it, depending on your situation, because you were very disappointed. You're very disappointed. You're overcoming it because you know that there's only so much a person can do, and if they're exhausted, you don't want to force them to hang out with you. You accept that, okay, I can't see you because you're too busy. Okay, I get it. I'm not happy about it, but I get it. And just with that attitude here, where you turn and you say, okay, it's okay, they are encouraged to start up again. You see, the spark is lit. The spark is lit. Standing in your integrity, both of you. Sagittarius, it's time now to start something new. It's time now. Spirit is giving you the go-ahead, saying you've been through so much. Same as the person most on your mind has gone through so much. you both are going to come together. And if it is that you want to be with this person to reconcile, then so be it. They're willing to open up and talk. They're willing to do. They're patient. They're waiting. They're waiting either for you to come to them, or they're waiting for the right moment for things to change so that they can open up, and that anxiety and dissipates with encouragement, because you give them that encouragement. It's because here is the, where is she? I just saw her. Where is she? There she is, the Queen of Candles. That's you, Sagittarius fire sign. And if it's not you, it's the attitude that they have, where they are determined and very patient and appreciative of the honesty and wanting to come forward. You see, this ace here is all about potential of doing and starting and beginning and being creative and being expressive. Here, the Two of Wands comes right after. So we have the Three of Wands. So it's that creativity, that's exploration, it's that determination. Again, because of our Tower moments that you are going through and they are going through. All right, let's see what Spirit has as advice. Because you both seem to be having trouble either communicating with each other or having time. Exactly that, to have time together. Things have been keeping you from each other, or Spirit has been keeping you from each other. But the person most on your mind does want to see and speak to you, and they want to start with you again. See, they want to start with you again. They're patient and honest. Maybe they have to wait for certain events to take place before they can come, but they're at the end of that now. What is the advice for Sagittarius? Telling stories. What words so tender can be spoken so bravely unless they are true from the truest of words? See, they want to talk to you. They're going to do what they can to come and meet with you. And here is the poinsettia. Then we have family. So coming together and turning inward. Oh, that's, yeah, turning inward. So being able to go inward and think about how you feel, what made you feel. That sense of being deeply wounded, deeply hurt. You're overcoming that. And you had to go through that. As they had to go through all that work and anxiety and pushing and pulling, all that effort they had to put in, so that you could start again. They could start again with you. That they will be open and honest with you. And you will be able to feel good and have a good time with them. Cast the shadows, scream silence at them, dear witch. What lurks inside transforms into the most beautiful of beauty. Because the poinsettia has to go through a certain period of darkness. And that is represented here. Right here. That is represented for the poinsettia to bloom that blood red blossom. Because these are leaves. It's not actually a flower. It's the same leaves that are just blooming into red. But they have to go through a time of darkness in order to give that color. And that's where you had to go in and be alone if you haven't done it already. That disappointment, you've overcome it. You're coming through to the light. You're seeing the light. If you haven't, you will soon, Sagittarius. And on that note, I thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. Until our next read, love and light.